segment we're going to go ahead and talk about facts and opinions, Alabama's lynching memorial. And this is according to CNN.com. So this memorial is actually started by a black man by the name of Brian Stevenson. He's a Harvard University trained lawyer. And his whole goal behind this memorial, which I was biased against it at first, is he hopes that it starts a healing process for us. Now, I can ask y'all guys this same question, and I bet you y'all gonna hit it just like I hit it. Can y'all name one person between the years of 1877 and 1950 that was lynched? One black man, woman, and child.
What Emmett Till?
Emmett Till was in the
Well, he was beat. Lynch, as far as Lynch, nah. I don't know.
Yeah, and see that's the point. That's the point of him making
bringing awareness. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And the memorial, y'all gonna get a kick out of this. So the memorial, everybody that's listening to the memorial for being lynching, these are the reasons why they got lynched. So knocking on a white woman's door, accidentally bumping into a white girl, annoying white girls, failing to address a police officer as Mr.
Man.
Reasons as simple as that.
Every day. Simple as a mind slip, and that's your life, man. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And I think at first, I guess, knowledge about this memorial, people probably just thought, it's white people. They trying to blast. They trying to do this. They trying to glorify.
Because it's in Montgomery.
Right.
Probably the most racist city in America.
Right. So,
arguably.
And I think people, because even when I heard about it, that's how I thought about it initially. You know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, looking it up and kind of reading, it's like, that makes sense, because if they don't know, they don't act different. But at least if they know, or it's brought to their awareness, they can say, man, like, I don't want to live like that, or now I know what's going on in this city. I wonder why some older people might look at me crazy and stuff like that. So it's dope.
Montgomery still move like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's like when you go to buy houses and stuff.
Yeah.
It's still in certain communities they don't want black people in.
That's crazy, man.
So
I mean, that's anywhere though. That's everywhere for real. They got them neighborhoods they don't want black people in.
Yeah.
I can see it being more extreme in Montgomery. I can see it really being more extreme in the South. You see that here,
right?
Like in certain areas like Cobb County, for example. The police is after the black people. Remember, I think it was last year, the video came out where the guy pulled the person over on the highway, and he was basically saying,
I think when we first started the show that happened.
Yeah, he was saying he said something racist, something crazy, or something like that. And it's just like, man, they don't, they don't want black people where they at.
Right,
you right.
Even with the gentrification, how they moving people out the city so they can take over the downtowns and the areas they want.
Right. They doing that everywhere though. Even in my city, they doing that.
Yeah, everything in Miami, same thing, bro.
So he said, Brian Stevenson said, we want people to see the pain, the suffering, and the anguish. So I mean, with this memorial, he has the victims by name. Over 4,000 black men, women, and children died from lynching between 1877.
And he's got all the names.
He got the names.
Ooh.
He got the names. I had some of them. I didn't really print them out, but I said, this article is on CNN.com if you want to go back and reference to it.
Right.
But it basically, his goal, like I said, he it's a healing process. He want to first capture the truth, then reconciliation, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it basically captures all the brutality of the lynching throughout the South.
So it's more of is it like a museum?
It's a museum.
It's a museum.
So how we in Atlanta got the Civil Rights Museum, it's basically a lynching museum. Just all the victims.
Right.
And they got sculptures, like they actually bringing it to life.
Oh wow.
So you can see sculptures of
the hanging and everything. Oh man, that's wild. Right.
He really trying.
That's
to
smart though. Yeah, because you gotta feel it. Like, it's one thing to know it, but if you can see it, you can feel it, you can damn near touch it. Now it changes your perspective on a whole nother level. It's crazy.
On the educational aspect.
Exactly.
Do y'all feel like schools at a certain grade point, schools should allow kids to go visit this? Do you think it should be a part of the educational thing, or do you think this is just more so something that parents should?
No, I think it should. I think it should, and I feel like the reason why that is because there's some parts of the story that your parents is not gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? So you walk around, you know, you half educated or half woke, like everybody say, and it affects your life. So I think stuff like this is like, you might not like it as a parent, and I guess if they have it to where, I don't want my child to go, I guess they have to do that, you know what I'm saying, for whatever. But I wouldn't make my child go. And then I want you to come back and tell me how you feel about it. Right. And then we can talk about it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Then it can be a conversation instead of me just telling you exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's smart.
For our community, I mean, I know we had the civil rights. We got the Civil Rights Museum in Atlanta, like I was saying. Do you think this could, in a sense, help our psyche as a community? In a sense, when we see something like this, do you think it'll start?
I think, you know, knowing your history, that's huge, because once you know your history, you know how to move forward, and you know why you react certain ways, you know why you do certain things. So I definitely think it's important to know the history, but at the same time, you gotta think of where our kids is going to school and who their teachers are. If they teachers the white person, the white lady or the white, white man, they got a white teacher. The white teacher is not going to be able to teach it in a way that the black teacher is going to be able to teach it.
Absolutely,
they haven't experienced that.
That's true.
And I think that's the problem we got now, because we got like a civil rights center in Ohio. You know, Ohio, cause Cincinnati is right, basically where the slaves were free. You know, from Kentucky, you can see Kentucky from Cincinnati. So right when you cross the river, you're free in Cincinnati. But we got a civil rights center, and I don't feel like they really use it like they supposed to. You know, we go on field. We was going on field trips there, but I don't feel like, we use those resources like we should, and understand what those resources are for. And I wouldn't say this is another museum that might get swept under the rug, but I think we got to get to a point to where we care a little bit more about the history.
I think we should have summer programs. Not like educate, like going in more of an in-depth, teaching of our children, not even just children, just, even like, parents. Because, I mean, we got a lot of young parents today. A lot of parents today are kids themselves that don't know
I can
the
say,
history.
if I was to have a kid, like, I wouldn't say that I'm the most educated on that history. I know what I know, from the things that but I wouldn't say I'm the most educated, so how can I teach my kids?
Yeah. Well, you learn with them.
But you learn.
That's a step, yeah.
We got to learn with our kids, because the people in school not going to teach them that.
Right.
And I'm not even going to lie, like, I'm kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one to be big on history.
But that's the purpose of the show, though, Nate. Like, the purpose of the show, like I was telling the lady I was interviewing today, like when I was telling her about the show, I said, a lot of us millennials and a lot of the younger generation, we don't watch the news. We don't care to watch the news. Right. So the purpose of the show is to do it in a fun way, on a more way where, like, okay, he just like me. Right.
He can relate.
He wear golds in his mouth sometimes.
No doubt.
He wear chains sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? He crack jokes sometimes. So, like, with me and Kim, it's even y'all, like, it's like somebody relates to us.
Very true.
In some type of, fashion.
Right.
And that's the whole, point of
Not
the show.
concept,
exposure,
man.
Educate, entertain. Right. So, I mean, I think it's dope. Like, me researching more on it, I think it's dope, and I think we should have more memorials, not necessarily pertaining to the lynching, but just different parts of slavery. Like, even the Underground Railroad memorial, that shit will be so dope if somebody can actually build some shit
the
like
whole
that.
thing, like trains,
you
and
can go through it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you walking through the story.
Exactly.
And that's a good way to relate to the people, because they want to be. Everybody's so social media heavy anyways. They want to be entertained or brought to something. You know what I'm saying? And that's a way to bring the story out versus just reading it somewhere or something like that.
And I think we need to, like, because all people always say, like, we was kings and queens. It seems like we only tell our history of slavery.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we need to go all the way back and show, like, even with the museums, I feel like all the museums are dark in a sense, because you're talking about slavery. But I mean, I'm sure we'd have had some good time, like some stuff that's enjoyable to learn about. It's like, damn, this shit depressing. I don't want to learn about this.
Right.
And I think that kind of scared people off too.
Right.
If we get to the point to where we learning about how we was kings and we had these castles and all that, it's like, damn, we was like
But the thing is too, it's just like the Bible. Like, we can argue about the Bible. Like, I'm a person, like, it's not that I don't believe what the Bible is saying, but it's just like it was another man that was walking this earth with me you know what I mean, telling different stories, a different man that walked the earth telling stories, and there's so many different versions of it.
Right.
So it's like even when you go back to like the pyramids and like even with the Sphinx, them like shaving the nose, like how much of the history have they damaged?
Right.
You know, after they done researched this stuff,
Right.
because they don't want us to know
right.
certain things, you know, in Black history.
Right.
But also us as a community have to understand too, all of our people did not come from Egypt. All of our people were not, you know, coming from that lifestyle, so to
Right.
speak. Like there was different cultures in Africa where they had kings and queens,
Right.
and didn't necessarily pertain to like gold and diamonds and things like that. And I think that's the thing, like with us, like we have to understand, like even with us wearing these chains and us wearing this jewelry, we need to understand the background of it, like the blood diamonds and stuff like that. So I mean, we can go so many ways with this. I don't know how long you was in Florida, but you remember they used to have a museum with the slave ships. They had a museum like that in Palm Beach with the slave ships.
Okay.
So like I say, man, it's so many different ways you could go with Black history, not just with slavery, but just with Black history. But I agree, like we should have museums on the good shit too.
Right, no doubt.
So
No doubt.
make sure y'all, like I said, make sure y'all like the Innovative Black Station Facebook page, the Instagram page, and make sure y'all comment, like, and share the videos as well. This was reported from CNN.com if you want to do more research on the Alabama lynching memorial.